wanted to talk about consistency, and I wanted to talk about not limiting yourself with your invite list and with your contacts today. With consistency, I have a little story where I've been talking to a guy who I know from college, actually, and his wife as well. But I haven't been talking to his wife. I've been talking to him. I don't know why. He is the one that I reached out to first. I think mainly because I kind of know their family dynamic, and I know she started her full-time job again after having a baby. And so I thought, and it's only been in the last month that she started work, so I thought, I don't know if she would even, okay, not right now. I'm sorry. Thank you. I don't know if she would even be interested right now. Oh, here I am limiting my contact list, right? But I knew with him, I knew that he had some success, and so I talked with him back and forth, and I'm not kidding you guys. I probably followed up with him 5 times at least 5 times, and I'm not talking about just 5 messages. I'm talking about 5 probably different conversations going on back and forth that would be over a span of a day or 2, and then would ask him a question, kind of wait for him to get back with me. And so, but I was consistent. Last weekend, I think it was, I thought, you know what, I'm going to check in with him because I know that he talked about being interested possibly in 22-minute hardcore. And so I thought, well, I haven't heard anything from him. And the conversation kind of stopped. So I thought, well, I'm going to check back in with him. Well, lo and behold, like 2 days later, or the day after, I think, he ended up buying a challenge pack, 22-minute hardcore. And, so it totally paid off, my consistency and trying to relate to him and see what he really wants to do. And they even have Beachbody on Demand already, actually. She does. And so, but he was the one he made the purchase. And so I was really, really excited about that. And so through that, I talked to his wife. I said, hey, the only question was, hey, I know that your husband bought a challenge, 20-minute hardcore and Shakeology. So are you going to do that also? Are you thinking about doing the workout also? And her response to me, because, just assumption, right? Go, oh yeah, they're probably going to do it together. Well, don't assume anything, because she was like, I actually haven't even worked out since being pregnant, basically, the early part of her pregnancy. She was feeling sick. I need to do a still for now. Okay, you can show later. She was feeling sick, of course. If you've been pregnant and trying to work out hard or almost work out at all, you understand what that is. Or not even working out, you just have that morning sickness thing going on. So she stopped early on, and she hasn't done anything. So probably, I'm saying maybe a year. And so she was talking about doing something low impact. And so I said, oh, okay. So what do you, I told her about Country Heat coming out, or it's out, being out. And I told her, we have other low impact options, but you can, since actually she's a Beachbody on Demand customer, I told her how she can go in and do the sample workout with Country Heat. So she was like totally excited about it. And I said, okay, but I will check in with you in a couple days to see, what you want to do. And she likes the whole dance aspect of it. So consistency pays off, people. I just want you to know that, because it's hard sometimes. We talked about this before, we constantly get what we feel like doors slammed in our face, and people not interested, or the conversation just going dead. And if it wasn't it's up to us. We're in control to a large degree, and not in a bad way, in a good way, trying to check in with people and trying to, see what we can do for them, and what do they need. That's my biggest thing that I always try to remember is get to that point of their need. You got to keep them talking till you can find out what that is. And I know with our script, it kind of helps with that question, but I will tell you, I've had many people not answer the question of, hey, what are your health and fitness goals right now? I've had people not answer that at all. And then maybe have nothing happen, but I know that I sent them the email. So then I have to go back, and what do I have to do? I have to check back in with them if they haven't talked to me in 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, days. Even if it's been longer, it's okay. Check back in with them and see what they're thinking. My other point today was not to limit ourselves in our invite list. I hope most of us have these massive lists going on. I know I do. And so, and we put every single person we know on it. I put every person that I know on it. And one of my friends from high school, who I'm Facebook friends with, she is actually a bikini model. And I didn't really know that at the time, but I did know that she was in really good shape because she constantly posts, you know, Facebook things that she's working. She lives in Vegas, and so she's in a bikini top. And I'm like, what does she do? Is she like a poolside, you know, cocktail waitress or something? I mean, that's kind of what it looked like. But she's in fabulous shape. And I thought, yeah, right. I'm not going to ask her. Why should I ask her? She doesn't need this. And a little voice said, it doesn't matter how skinny you are, or that you post about yourself all the time about, hey, look at me, I'm at the pool today, or whatever. Maybe she has a health issue, or maybe she doesn't have a health issue, but she wants to be healthier. You never, ever, ever, ever know what they need. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna shoot her a message and just ask her. And I would never know, you know, she answered me back and said, well, actually, I'm a bikini model. And I actually, you know, I work out, and I'm doing pretty good on my own, this and that. And so I said to her, but she said, but if you'd like any tips, then I can give you some tips. And so I just said, yeah, what do you do? You know, just keeping the conversation going and curious. And so she answered me back with what she does. And I guess for her job, she has to run up and down stairs a lot. So I guess she gets her cardio at work, but she does strength training as well on this at home. And so I just said to her, I said, hey, that sounds awesome. And I said, hey, you would be really good at being a Beachbody coach. Maybe, you know, you would be interested in doing that. And her last message to me was, oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds really fun. So now I get to go. So I'm keeping the conversation going, right? And so I am going to go back to her and follow up with her tonight and say, hey, were you serious about that? Because, you know, that you said this and that, whatever. So I'm just saying, don't limit yourself, you guys, because you never know. Because I'll never forget Craig Holiday talking about presenting the business opportunity to people. And so to me, it relates the same with when we're really talking about these fitness groups. And of course, a lot of it goes hand in hand with our business. But when he was talking about presenting the business to someone, it doesn't matter how big of a house they live in or what kind of a fancy car they drive. Who knows what their actual situation is? They might have debt all the way up to the ceiling and beyond. You don't know. You don't know what their situation is. So don't limit yourself with, oh, they're already successful. They don't need my help. Well, you know what? They might. So it's always a good thing to don't limit yourself.